What's up, everybody? I just wanted to do a video. Now that I'm 30, there are some things that I want to share with everybody. As I took a few days to reflect on my life, some things that I've learned, down through the years, I want to share some of those key things with you. This isn't going to be a long video, so these aren't all of my experiences and all of my points, but they are some very vital and important things that I've learned through the years that I kind of want to share. So, number one of the things that I've learned through the years is that the older you get, the more intentional and purposeful your choices and decisions have to be. You can't be 30, 28, 29, 27 still doing things just because, or having no purpose or reason behind why you do them. Relationships, friendships, jobs, opportunities, money. You can no longer just behave a certain way just because. You have to be very intentional on what you do, who you connect yourself with, who you associate yourself with, decisions you make, choices you make, because at a certain point in your life, they determine your next step. They determine your next level. If you're going to get a job just to have a job, and you're going to spend 5 to 10 years on that job, you got to figure by the time you're 35 or 40, you could have been promoted in that job or somewhere else, or you could have been on another career track. Money, we spend so much money, don't realize over time that money accumulates and adds up. Friendships, you could invest yourself in friendships or associations that really haven't yielded anything. And so at this point in my life, I've learned to be very, very purposeful and intentional. Everything I do, every decision I make, every choice I make, every decision I don't make, I'm very intentional about it. I don't just make a decision without, seeking counsel first, or, taking past experiences in mind. I'm very, very, very intentional about what I do. On side of that, another thing that I want to say is that you have to have a bigger reason in mind. You have to kind of have a bigger picture in mind. You can't just do stuff to satisfy you now. You can't just do stuff to kind of bring you temporary relief and satisfaction now. You kind of got to plan out your steps, order your steps. You got to kind of play chess, not checkers. So you got to kind of say, okay, this next move really has nothing to do with right now, but for future development, future moves that I'm trying to make. How is what I'm doing now going to help me next year, next month, and the next 5 years? So you got to kind of be more strategic in your decision making than you are now. Number two, another point that I want to bring up that I've learned is that early on in life, it is okay to take risk. You must take risk early on. So if you're watching this video and you're 25 and under, 26 and under, take risk. If you don't have children, if you do have children, take risk early on. You will never know what you can accomplish. You'll never know what's out there for you. You will never know what you're able to do unless you take risk first. You have to kind of, lunge yourself out there, launch yourself out into the deep and see what's out there for you. Take risk. Don't be afraid. Calculated risk. I'm not just saying just go be crazy, just do whatever you want to do. Take calculated risk. Things that make sense, do it. If it makes sense, do it. And if it doesn't work out, figure out what you can learn from that risk. What can you take away from that lesson? What can you pull from that risk that you've taken? Did you learn anything? Did you become better? What can you pull from that calculated risk? So take risk early on, because there are times in your life where you will no longer be able to take risk. People don't tell you that. I was able to take risk as a young business owner at 22, 23. I didn't have children. I didn't have a home. I didn't have a car payment. I didn't have those things to worry about. So when I put my money in business investments, if I lost that money, it wasn't a big deal. I was going to find a way to eat at the end of the day. I was working a full-time job. So the money I saved up and invested, if I lost it, I'd be upset, but I didn't have to worry about my children not having a roof over their head or food in the refrigerator. I was able to take big risks the younger I was, but the older I got, I had to be more calculated with my risk, because I had more responsibilities. And so while you're young, while you're able to take those risks, you could be 30, no children, really no huge responsibilities. Take risks. Losing your job is not a big enough reason to not chase your dream. Jobs come a dime a dozen. I don't want to be the one to say it, but hey, you can always find a job. So don't miss out on your dream or your big opportunity, or miss out starting a business because you're afraid that your job may be affected, or you may not, you may lose your job doing it. You can get a job. Get out of the mindset of having a job. Get out of the mindset of what you'll lose. Think about what you can gain if you win. What if you win? We tend to focus on what happens if we don't do it, or if we miss our mark, or if we lose, or if we don't win. But what if you do win? What if it does work? What if you do succeed? And you have to have that mindset that you're not going to lose, but what if you win? And so take risk. Early on, take risk. When I took risk as a business owner, when I launched my first business, I couldn't do that same thing now. I have children, I have responsibilities, and so my risks must be calculated. They have to make sense if I'm going to do that. And so if you're listening to me, take risk early on. Take your risk early on. You'll never know unless you do it. You'll never know what you're capable of accomplishing unless you do it. Okay? Number 3. One of the things that I hold dear to my heart now, at this point in my life, is where I spend my time, where I spend my energy, what I focus on. My focus have changed and shifted the older I got. You cannot grow up, get older, and mature and still focus on the same things. At some point in your life, your mindset has to change on what it is you focus on. If you can still focus on small things, you may have gotten older, but you haven't matured. If you can still major in minor things, you have not matured as an individual. And so point number 3 that I want to throw out there is pick your battles. The older you get, you realize there are some things just not worth your time. Just not worth your time anymore. There are certain battles just not worth your time and effort. There are certain arguments, it's just not worth your time. There are certain things that are just not worth your time. It's not worth you getting worked up. It's not worth you getting frustrated. It's not worth you getting angry or upset. It's just not worth it anymore. When you were 20, 21, 22, you could afford to be angry for a week or a month and hold a grudge for 2 weeks. Not anymore. I can no longer do that. I'm at a place now, I must pick my battles. If it's a small deal, it's going to stay a small deal. People ask me all the time, well, how can you not be upset, or how do you not let that get to you? How does that not bother you? I made a conscious choice not to be bothered, and you have to make a choice at some point in your life to be unbothered. I made a choice. I'm not going to be bothered by small things. Certain things will not bother me anymore. And so one thing I've learned, at 30 years old is that you get the power to choose. You have the power to choose what bothers you or not. You have that control. That is one of the best abilities that we have, is the ability to control what bothers us. You can choose what makes you upset. You can choose what gets you down. You can choose what to be upset about. You have that choice to be unbothered. And so today, choose to be unbothered. Choose to remain unbothered. It's a powerful choice to make. Be unbothered. Do not let the choice and decisions of other people control what happens to you. Control your barometer. Control your gauge. Control your attitude and your altitude. Control what works you up. And if you can see something that has the potential to upset you or frustrate you, steer clear of it. At some point in your life, you can no longer use ignorance as an excuse. Well, I didn't know they were going to do this, or I didn't know this was going to frustrate me, or I didn't know this was going to bother me. At some point in your life, you must take ownership and say, you know what, I saw that coming. That's my fault, but it won't happen again. And so that's one thing that I've learned. At this point in my life, I am picking my battles. I'm choosing for me. I am choosing for me. Hear me. I'm choosing for me. My last 10 years, I try to do everything for everybody else. I try to do things that affect, that benefited other people, that, it wasn't just about me. I wasn't selfish. I was giving. I was caring. But now it's about me. It is about me. This next season is about me. This next season, I'm no longer affected by what works and doesn't work for other people. This next season is about me. I'm taking it personal. It's a personal one for me. And you got to be okay with that. Be okay with it being just about you. All right? Last point, and I'm going to cut this video short. Number 4. One thing that I've learned is that you always must get better. Every day of your life, find a way to get better. Find a way to improve. If it's your health, if it's your spiritual health, if it's your mental health, if it's your family health, if it's your financial health, find ways to get better. At 30 years old, I am constantly worried about self-development. I'm constantly focused on how I can get better. At 30 years old, I have to be able to say, when I turn 31, what happened in my life, or what did I do to get better from 30 to 31? What changed in my life? What can I tangibly look at and trace and track and say, you know what? I've grown in this area. I've gotten better in this area. Trim the fat. Look over your life over the past 5 years. Things that were not productive in your life. Friendships that yielded no fruit. Relationships that really didn't, make your life better. Trim the fat. I don't mean cut them off. Trim the fat. Meaning, if you spent 10 hours a week dealing with somebody, going out to dinner, going out to lunch, and all they had to do was talk about people and not, ways to get better. Instead of spending 5 hours a week with them, spend maybe 25 minutes. Trim the fat. Trim the fat. It's okay to have, casual conversation, but you shouldn't tie up majority of your time discussing people. At 30 years old, majority of my time is spent helping people or getting better. I don't have time to discuss people. And so at some point in your life, you have to take ownership and say, where's my time going? Where is my time being spent? What am I spending majority of my time in the day doing? Out of 24 hours in a day, 8 of it, majority of it is vocation. It's work. You have to go to work. Or if you're in school full time, 8 hours of that day, is spending, either in full-time work or full-time school or whatever. 8 hours a day, you're probably sleeping. What about the remainder, the remainder time in the day that you have? What about the remainder time? What is your time spent on doing? Are you reading? Are you going to seminars? Are you listening to positive YouTube videos? Are you listening to motivational things? Are you reading motivational things? Are you spending time around motivational people? Are you spending your time on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, social media, Twitter? Are you spending those times poisoning your mind and fattening yourself up with the crap of this world? What are you doing to get better? And you don't have to say anything. You don't have to answer that question. Your life will speak for it. Your life will be able to tell what you spend most of your time doing. If you go to the gym 7 days a week, your body is showing. You're not going to tell me you're overweight, out of shape, and you tell me you go to the gym for 2 hours every day. You can say it, but your body and your life will speak differently. It just works like that. So at a certain point in your life will show, whether you say so or not, your life will show what you spend majority of your time on. Must have been an accident. I'm driving from an appointment and this traffic just got bad. But what are you spending your time on? What do you spend your time on? Ask yourself that question. So, get better. At 30 years old, a lot of people can say, Jason, you've accomplished a lot. You've got successful businesses. You've launched a successful ministry. You're married. You've got kids. To me, that's not enough. I have not arrived yet. I've got books to write. I've got more businesses to create. I've got more things to do. And so I can't settle based off of my past accomplishments. Yes, I'm excited. Yes, I'm happy where God's brought me. Yes, I'm satisfied. Not satisfied, but yes, I'm happy with my life. Yes, I'm happy. I've got more degrees to get. I got a PhD to get. Yes, I got a bachelor's. Yes, I have a master's. That's exciting. Yes, I'm glad. But I'm not content. I'm not satisfied. I want more. And so you have to always be hungry. You have to stay in a hungry position, never be in a satisfied position. If you are in a satisfied position, check who you're around, because you need to be around people that do not let you stay comfortable being content. Listen to me. Never stay around people who are comfortable with you being content. All right? Listen, they are my 4 nuggets. I'm getting ready to get off this video. I'm going to post this video today. It's not going to be edited. So do me a favor, click the like button, smash the like button. Share this video, please. If you have not subscribed to my channel, Get Lifted with J-Dab. Get Lifted. My videos are meant to help you promote your well-being in your life. They're meant to help motivate you and give you the extra push that you need. Big shout out to all these other videos, entertainment, making you laugh. I watch them. I love to laugh. But, I'm doing a different spiel. I don't want to, make you laugh. We have enough people doing that. I want to push you. I want you to get better. I want to help you grow. So do me a favor. If you have not subscribed to my channel, Get Lifted with J-Dab, subscribe to this channel right now. If you didn't like the video by now, you should have already liked it. So I'm going to give you about 5 seconds to like it now. Like the video. Share this video with everybody you can. Do me that favor. Share this wisdom. Share this love. Every like matters. Every share matters. Every subscription matters. All right. Until our next video, take care. God bless you. Love you all. Remember, get lifted, get better.